So today on the Lillian McDermott radio show, we had a few glitches, and the glitches caused me to not hit record at the beginning. And when I saw that the show wasn't being recorded, I went ahead and clicked record. I may or may not put this particular video. I may just take the video from Facebook Live that we did. So if you don't see this part, if you're seeing this part, it's because I chose to do the actual recording. So with that in mind, I just wanted you to know that we're talking to Dr. Neal Barnard about the Vegan Starter Kit book. It's a brand new book that he has released as of last year, December. And so it's a really like a quick read, everything you need to know about going whole food, plant-based, and all the answers to your questions that you might have. Great information, so I hope you tune in and continue to watch.
Their diabetes, or they've reversed their heart disease, or lost weight really effectively, and they want to know how to do it. And so I thought, well, here's what I need. I need a guide that you can read in maybe 45 minutes that gives you the confidence to get started and answers your basic questions. So I said to my publisher, I don't want something big and thick and heavy and expensive. I want something cheap and really kind of this little ugly duckling that people can give to other people, or that doctors can give to patients as your 45-minute prescription for here's how you do it. And what I'm describing is really a 3-week program for seeing how a completely vegan diet, a completely plant-based diet can change your health. And I've got you some recipes to start with. And that's the whole thing. And it's been really fun to see how people don't need a huge amount of detail. They just need a pathway. And that's the idea.
Okay, so here's the deal. I am going to do the ninth caller or texter, and YouTube and Facebook. You need to private message me. So on Facebook, you can send me a message, or on YouTube later on when you're seeing this. And of course, on the radio, 407-373-5959. Be the 9th caller or texter, and you will win this book. I am very excited about this book. When you said you could read it in 45 minutes, you're not kidding. This is a really easy read, and the first book of the year that I've read from cover to cover. And we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Neal Barnard when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Are we up there? Dr. Barnard, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Happy New Year. Yes. So I could not, do you have the chat button open? So those are the things that you guys don't see, that you're seeing today on Facebook Live. There we go. So let me hear you.
Okay. I'm hoping you can hear me better. No?
You sound like you're far away. Is your mic further away than normal?
Well, maybe I was, let's see. Let me bring this closer. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's a little better. What do you think, Andre?
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. This is the way we've always done it, Lillian.
Yeah, it just sounds echoey today. Maybe it's my mic. Let me see. Go ahead and keep talking.
Well, I've got a little frog in my throat. How about that? I need my frog to speak up to more.
Oh, ribbit. Okay, so it's a New Year frog.
I'm not sure. I woke up a little something today. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But I'm hoping it might come through loud.
Yeah, you sound good. I got you a little closer to the mic. And for those of you who have questions for Dr. Neal Barnard, I want you to feel free to comment below. I'm really excited. I don't know if you've shared it on your, okay, so Ashley is saying that you sound good to her. So good.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's see. Here we go. There was an excitement about you being on the show today. There was a countdown. It was like a New Year's countdown, Dr. Barnard.
Oh, that's
great. Did you have a happy New Year?
Absolutely, and I hope you did too.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So I am really excited about this book, and I do want to talk about it, but I do because so many people out there have this negative thinking about veganism. And right. I like what the whole food plant-based lifestyle, or the whole food plant-based community is doing. We're really naming it for what it is. Mm-hmm. And so let's dispel some, I know you do a really good job dispelling some of the myths on your book, which I think are cute. Wonderful. And but yeah, I really would like to maybe start with, let's dispel some of these rumors first so that we can open people, and keep me honest, Andre, I need to know when it's time to go back on the air, okay? Let me see. Andre, just let me know. Okay, great, great. So, so one of the things that I want to make sure is that people realize what their intention is. And I think you're really good about that at the beginning when you warn people, you do the little caution. Here we go. Here we go. I'm sorry we didn't get to prep before the show. But you got your glitch already, all taken care of? Awesome. Here we go.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow together. Today's teacher is Dr. Neal Barnard, and he is teaching us or giving us the Vegan Starter Kit. The 9th caller or texter, YouTuber to message me, or Facebook Live to send me a private message, because it's not fair for people to see, okay, this is number 1, this is number 2. So start sending me these messages on, you can go onto whenyouneedafriend.com. The messenger button's on there too. So there's so many different ways this year to be connected. The book is the Vegan Starter Kit. I'm excited about this book because it's like you said, it's a very easy read. And for people who are questioning about becoming a vegan, and as I was saying to you, becoming a vegan has kind of a negative, people kind of get tense about it, but whole food plant-based seems to be a softer approach. Let's talk about, why do you think, Dr. Barnard, that people are so negative against veganism?
Well, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There was one of the participants in our research is a man named Vance. He lived in Washington, D.C. He had been a policeman for a dozen years, something like that. And then he worked in a bank, and he had diabetes, and he had a lot of weight, and he wanted to solve these problems. And we said, okay, we're going to do a low-fat vegan diet. And he started in, and after about 3 weeks, he said, wait a minute, wait. He said, I thought that this was going to be really hard. I think he figured that vegan meant that you had to be a philosopher, or you had to like folk music or wear tie-dye or something like that. I said, no, it's like, it just means instead of meat chili, I make bean chili. Mm-hmm. And when I'm at my favorite Italian place, instead of meat sauce on my spaghetti, I put the arrabbiata, tomato sauce, whatever it is. So it's just some little switches. And by the way, he lost 60 pounds over about a year. His diabetes went away. His doctor stopped his medications. He had totally normal blood sugars. His erectile dysfunction went away. All these problems got better. But I learned a lesson from that. And I think vegan is an okay word, but I don't use it for a person. In other words, I don't say you're a vegan. I say your food is vegan. So your dinner might be vegan, but you're the same old guy you always were. So anyway, that was my thought. And I like what you're saying. Some people like to say plant-based or whatever. There's different ways of putting it. But the whole idea is, when we get away from animal products, we've eliminated all the animal fat and all the cholesterol, and everything we have now is vitamin rich and fiber rich and healing for the body. And that's why with the old fashioned kind of diet, you never saw diabetes go away or heart disease reverse, but with a plant-based diet, you do. So that's what we're doing.
Yes, you can take a pill, you can take responsibility. And this is the kind of responsibility, and I'm not against pills, because I know that short term, some of these pills are helping a lot of people, but there are no side effects other than the great side effects that you get from eating whole food plant-based that you get. And, it's really easy. And for people that call themselves vegan, it's really easy to fall into this veganism, this new veganism it's like a standard American veganism now, where they're using the same old stuff, the heavy oils and the like potato chips and lots of sugars, and people are calling that vegan. Let's talk about what is vegan, and and why should people embrace this outside of a fad?
Yeah, well, sure. Well, any way you do it is better than what people were doing before. That's for sure. Yeah. So for me, I grew up in North Dakota, and my dad grew up in the cattle business, and his dad and his, as far back as I could trace. And the whole idea of a diet was that meat was the main part of it. And then there was a vegetable, and there might have been a starch, which meant a potato. And that was it. And we thought that if a person had a heart attack, That's because they were old. And, we didn't realize it had something to do with our food. And then it was Dr. Dean Ornish, starting in 1990, said, wait, throw all that meat out. And he showed that the arteries open up again, and people who had heart attacks, they get better. And this is so amazing. So my research team said, okay, fine. What if I don't have a heart issue, but I got weight I need to lose, or I got diabetes? So we started pioneering this approach for those conditions. And it was amazingly exciting to see how people could recover their health, and we just loved it. But what you said is true. This is the beginning. This is the door you're opening. And then you're going to find out, okay, getting rid of the pork chop was great, but maybe the potato chips don't love me too much either, and I might want to, get away from that. But don't get me wrong. If a person has just eliminated the animal products, that's a great step, and that's fabulous. But if you want to go further, that's good too.
Very good. Now, at the beginning of the book, you warn people, you say, okay, it's important that you evaluate your conditions. And so let's talk about that before we go dive into the book and the vegan starter kit, which, by the way, 9th caller, texter 407-373-5959. You can send me an instant message on Facebook. You can also on YouTube, when you're watching this, the ninth person to get a hold of me. Okay. So with that in mind, let's talk about warnings.
Yeah, the first warning I have is kind of a funny one, but it's important. Let's say a person has diabetes and they go vegan. Mm-hmm. They sometimes improve so fast that if they haven't ratcheted down their medications, the combined power of this diet approach and the medications that they're on can be so strong, their blood sugar goes too low. So that doesn't mean you throw your pills away. What it does mean is you let your doctor know that your doctor needs to stand by to maybe change your medications and take them away at the right time so that you're not missing. So that's really what I'm talking about there.
Yes, that's right. And so, we also have to have an intention. Is this a fad thing? Is this something that I am, what am I doing this? Am I doing it for somebody else? Am I doing it for myself? Am I doing it for the planet? Am I doing it for the animals? A combination of all of it. What do you think is the one that people stick to the most?
I have to say, if it's really young people who aren't aware of any health issues, they see what happens in slaughterhouses and they get freaked out and they want to go vegan for that reason. Or they've heard about climate change and they go vegan for that reason. Those are great reasons. Mm-hmm. For older people, or where a person's, they're not so happy with what the bathroom scale is telling them, they're changing for health reasons. But what I discover is that almost no matter what the reason is that brought them into it, they start discovering all the other reasons. And I'll never forget, I had a person in one of our migraine studies where a person had terrible migraine headaches, went vegan, her migraines went away. But she said, after about a month, I started thinking, people eat all these animals. What I'm doing is good for them too. And so they start to come to these other reasons. And the beauty of that, the reason as a doctor I like that, is that makes them extra motivated because they're changing the diet for many different reasons together. And sometimes the big reason is their kids or their family. They want to be healthy for them.
Very good. Yeah. So what do we do? How do we start? So this is called the vegan starter kit. So the one of the chapters you say, how do we start? Let's just take it from the very beginning.
Okay. I break it into 2 steps. We've done this in thousands of people, never seen anyone unable to do it. Step 1, take 7 days, 1 week. During this week, don't eliminate anything. During the 7 days, I want you to try some new tastes. That's all you're going to do. But they've got to be vegan foods. So for breakfast, oatmeal with cinnamon and blueberries. Oh, fine. What I want you to identify is different meals that have no animal products in them. You got 7 days to do it. And that's pretty easy. And they can be fast food. They can be nice restaurants. They can be stuff at the grocery store, whatever. At the end of the 7 days, you'll have breakfast and lunches and dinners that you like. Step 2 is 3 weeks. All vegan, all the time. Now we're going to get rid of the meat and the dairy. But you're going to eat the foods that you already identified that you like. And at the end of 21 days, you'll discover your tastes are changing and your health is transforming. So those are my 2 steps. 7 days to just try out new foods, 21 days to put it to work.
I love it. I love that concept. When I don't know if I shared this with you, and I know if I shared it on the show, that when I went raw vegan, this was when I first started that journey, the food journey that completely transformed my life, by the way. Was a raw foodist brought some food from their restaurant, Happy Healthy Human here in Melbourne. the former owner came and brought some food, and I tried it, and I thought, this is delicious. And I invited him on the show. And when I invited him on the show, he challenged me to a 30-day, eating raw, vegan only. And the funny thing is that after, I said, bring it, I'll do it. I can do anything. So after 4 days, I felt really good. But the problem was that I didn't feel bad. I didn't know I could feel better, Dr. Barnard. Do you get that? I mean, do you get people to say, I don't feel bad. I'm happy eating the way I'm eating. But you don't realize that a lot of conditions that we have are food induced that we think is normal.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of people who feel great and they're going to feel dramatically better. And the most recent example is the Tennessee Titans football team. The wives of one of the players convinced her husband, who happens to be a linebacker for the Titans, and said, here's some vegan food. And he started sharing it around with the team members. And they discovered that they felt good and they liked it. So I think she got 12 or 15 of the Titans to go vegan. And so she comes and she makes the food. And you suddenly got athletes. They were doing pretty well before. I mean, they were all right. But suddenly their game ratchets up because they're not so tired. Their recovery is faster. Their oxygenation is better. We saw this with Serena Williams, who was a tennis player. Novak Djokovic, a male tennis player who won Wimbledon last year. He won the U.S. Open tennis. He actually opened a vegan restaurant because, anyway, the point being, you can feel great. You can feel fine. But you discover your fine is now better than it ever was before. Yeah. You're more productive in so many ways.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons I share that is that, we could dismiss you by saying, well, I don't have diabetes, I don't have heart disease, and I don't have, all these conditions. But even if you don't, we're going down a path where getting sick at the age of 50 is normal. They're getting sicker. Now children are sick. And you're really, really good in your book about, let's focus on targets. What's your why? What are you wanting to achieve? Is being vegan like you have the weight loss, cholesterol, diabetes, different targets? Let's talk about the different targets for each motivation for the individual.
Yeah, and I would say probably the biggest reason that people have picked up this book is because they want to lose some weight. And for some, it's 15, 20 pounds, but for others, it's a lot more. Mm-hmm. And the beauty of this is, what we're going to do is we're going to use foods that fill you up naturally. And they fill you up about 200 calories sooner than other foods would, because they're really high in fiber. And so the foods actually cut down your caloric intake without your knowing it, because they're just filling. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is that they ramp up your metabolism after the meal. And so that combination of more filling, healthy foods and a faster metabolism means the weight loss is just automatic. And that's been really a cool thing to see. And then probably the second most common reason, I think, is a combination of diabetes or high cholesterol. And it just tackles those things amazingly quickly.
It's so many things. And, can you compare and contrast if somebody's taking a statin, for example, eating better nutrition or a whole food plant-based, how that statin works compared to the whole food plant-based?
Yeah. Now, statins are medications that lower cholesterol, and they're generally safe. Except as time has gone on, we've started to discover that there are some hazards with them. They cause muscle issues and liver problems for some people, but they also cause weight gain just slightly, and they increase the risk of diabetes a little bit. And so a lot of doctors are thinking, gee, maybe I don't want to use that if I don't have to. And a plant-based diet does exactly the opposite. It makes diabetes.
Okay, and let's continue this conversation off the air. Join us at Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show. Be the 9th caller or texter for the Vegan Starter Kit, 407-373-5959. And we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Neal Barnard when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Sorry, Dr. Barnard. I was looking at I thought we had enough time, but we didn't. So for those of you who are on Facebook Live, if you have any questions for Dr. Neal Barnard, please write it in the comment section. Or you can text me 407-373-5959. So if you would like to continue that, the statins, and then, people can watch this, they can go to YouTube and watch it. But continue on with the side effects of a statin, for example.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I actually said what I really needed to say.
Oh, okay. So I didn't mean to interrupt
I
you.
could see it in your eyes, Lillian. I knew
Do you have the countdown on the side there?
Oh, I might.
Open your chat.
No, I can't see the count. I can't see the countdown, but I can see that you're ready to get off the air. So that's all right.
You've been reading me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's so many other side effects. Let's talk about how quickly someone can reverse diabetes.
Yeah. And by the way, before we leave statins, let me mention one other thing. There is a wacky side effect of them. There was, in fact, a doctor named Dwayne Graveland. He's in Florida, not that far from you. And he worked for NASA. And he had a high cholesterol level. But he got home from work one day, and there was a woman standing outside his door. And he said, "Hello, may I help you?" And she said, Dwayne, I'm your wife." He didn't recognize his own wife.
Wow.
He bundled him into the car. They ran to the emergency room. She says, "My husband has lost his memory." And he had all these memory problems. And they thought, what could this be? It turned out it was the Lipitor. He had been taking Lipitor for about 4 weeks. It goofed up his memory. He stopped the Lipitor. His memory came back 100%. He started it again. And inside of a month, he lost all his memory after age 13. Stopped it again. His memory came back. And the FDA now has hundreds of cases of people where their memory has been harmed by Lipitor. Now, it's not common. It's still rare, but it does happen.
Wow.
And not just Lipitor, but other statins too.
Well, statins, isn't there a side effect for statins is cancer?
I'm not sure that's going to affect cancer risk.
I know there's another, I'm trying to remember.
Could well be. The diabetes is the one that's really got us upset.
Okay.
Because diabetes increases the risk of heart disease. And the whole reason you're taking Lipitor is to try to protect your heart. And if it makes you gain weight, and if it increases the risk of diabetes, that's not good. Now, I don't want to beat up statins too much, because they do have their good side. I mean, they really do lower cholesterol a lot. And that's a good thing. And so for some people, that's a benefit. But I really think, what's the cause of your high cholesterol? You didn't get it from a Lipitor deficiency.
That's right.
You got it from food.
Yeah. And is what I understand, and this is probably a conversation maybe we could have on the air, but for those of you who are watching on Facebook Live, you get to benefit from this first. But when you're thinking about cholesterol, we think that cholesterol is bad, but not all cholesterol is created equal. We need cholesterol, right?
You need cholesterol in your blood. You don't need any on your plate.
Correct.
And your liver makes the cholesterol you need. If you eat cholesterol, that's a problem.
Okay, and people don't understand how they're getting the cholesterol on their plate, and that's why let's kind of like spin this one over to the air. For those of you who are tuning in on Facebook Live, I wanted to let you know that the book, the Vegan Starter Kit, can be yours if you message me. If you message me, be the 9th message to say that you want this book, and let me know your name and your email address. Also, another thing is, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can also send me a private message at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com, or you can make I don't want you to do a comment or just say, sent you a message on the comment. Send me a message to lily@whenyouneedafriend.com, and the 9th person who sends me a message will also get a copy. I really do love this book, and I love the fact that this doesn't, like, if you look behind me, you have the cheese crab back there, which is a big book, but this one is so welcoming. Okay, here we go. And I will reintroduce you, Dr. Barnard.
Leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where you can hear us worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. You can also watch us on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show. For those of you who want to learn where you can watch the show live, it's at Lillian's radio show on Facebook. And so for those of you who don't know who I am, this is maybe the first time that you stumbled upon the show. This is Lillian McDermott. I'm Lillian McDermott. I'm a student of the show, and I get wonderful teachers to come on And I just want to encourage everybody to go through life with this childlike wonder, to learn more of what the stuff that we don't know, we don't know. This journey, it's something that many of us have a different journey, a different way of learning a new truth. And this is what we're focusing on, is a new truth on the Lillian McDermott radio show. So I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com and become a subscriber so that we can go on this journey together. My journey began when someone said, oh, actually, my journey's been going on, and each step has led me to where I'm at today. I think it's been a wonderful journey and a journey of exploration. But there was a time in my life that I thought I knew it all. I knew everything. I knew everything. And there's so much I didn't know. And so because of that awareness, this show completely changed to a classroom where we can learn together without judgment, without any expectations, other than if it makes sense to you, embrace it. If it doesn't make sense to you, discard it, because I'm sure that something else will make sense to you. So go to whenyouneedafriend.com and become a subscriber. When you do that, you get my 90-day challenge to self-love ebook, and you also get the show, the audio of the show sent to you. Now, while you're at whenyouneedafriend.com, if you click on the different icons, you'll be able to follow me on social media or like me there. You could also go to YouTube and subscribe there. When you subscribe to YouTube, you get the show sent to you, the on and off the air conversation. So there's so many different ways to stay connected. And one of them is to listen to podcasts, to do whatever it is that will help you feel like you're also learning along with the show, with me. And while you're at whenyouneedafriend.com, I ask that you check out my sponsors that are my sponsors on the air, like Liberty Health Share. We also have sponsors that are for my YouTube channel, and that's, Keep Me Safe Organics, First Alternative Care, all these wonderful people that are making, or companies that are making a difference so that we can learn this new truth and take our health back. Also, we are giving away Dr. Neal Barnard's book called The Vegan Starter Kit, and the 9th caller or texter 407-373-5959. This is everything you need to know about plant-based eating. But the side effects of this are wonderful. Now, Dr. Barnard, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your experience. I wanted you to talk about the Lipitor story, because you said it off the air, but I think it merits, because 70% of people who are diagnosed with dementia don't really have dementia, not the truest form. So with that in mind, can you share that story again about the gentleman?
Yeah, it's a true situation, and it really completely changed our view of statins. There's a doctor in Florida. His name is Dwayne Gravlin, and he was also worked for NASA. And he got in his car and he drove home from work, and he got home. And when he arrived at home, there was a woman standing outside his front door. And he got out of his car and he said, "Hello, may I help you?" And she said, "Dwayne, I'm your wife." And he looked at her and she looked at him. She said, "Get in the car." And they went to the emergency room. She said, "My husband has completely lost his memory." And the neurologist came in, they started looking at him, and he had all these memory gaps, including he did not recognize his own wife. And they tried to say, what had happened? What could have caused this? And the only thing they could think of is he had started Lipitor not too long ago. And Lipitor is a statin for cholesterol that we had thought was relatively safe. So they stopped it. Within 4 weeks, his memory was perfect. It was back to normal. But his cholesterol went back up. So he started the statin again, started the Lipitor again at half the dose. And within a month, his memory was completely wiped out after age 13. Couldn't remember anything. And so they stopped. They threw the Lipitor in the trash. His memory came back, and he started talking about this, and he wrote to the FDA. And the FDA at first said this couldn't be. But they have now hundreds and hundreds of cases of people with memory problems caused by not just Lipitor, but other statins too. Now, don't get me wrong. There are many people who use statins with relatively few side effects. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to say that they're terrible or poison, but my point is, that your cholesterol increases are not caused by a lipitor deficiency. It's caused by eating cheese and meat and eggs and all these kinds of things. And when you set those aside, even as a test, 2 months, 3 months, check your cholesterol. And what you discover is that you can lower it without the drugs in probably 90% of cases. And so anyway, the FDA now does report, it does require the statin manufacturers to report this side effect, and there's lots of other side effects as well. So again, I don't mean to say that they're bad drugs or should never be used, but I do mean to say that drugs have side effects, and broccoli has side effects too, which are, it's side effects you want,
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I get green teeth, like you get the green stuff between your teeth. I think that's probably the worst part. And if you have a good friend, they'll always tell you that you have green stuff on your teeth. Okay.
Well, but you have side effects like it not only tastes good if you make it the right way, it also reduces your cancer risk. It makes you live longer, and helps your vision, and is good in all kinds of great ways.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. So the way the system is set up, Dr. Barnard, there's one size fits all, but one size does not fit all. That one pill doesn't help everybody because people are taking different kinds of medications or different interactions, but good nutrition, a whole food plant-based lifestyle, is a much better solution for the body, and the body will respond kindly to us. So it's not like you stop taking the statins and all of a sudden the cholesterol goes away. It's we make choices. We make choices in our food and our intake. I love your 2-step program, which is 7 days. You try and taste things. You bring things in that are no animals, vegan, whole food, plant rich, and then the next 3 weeks, then you do all no animal products to see how you feel. I mean, that's a really good solution. However, you talk about in your book, which I thought was very interesting, the different phases in people's lives. Like when you're an infant, it's different. Our needs are different than when you're an adult. So would you like to share a little bit about that from the book?
Yeah, for sure. And it's really important because people are a little bit nervous about, should my kids do a vegan diet? And the answer is they absolutely should. But let me give kind of the rules so that parents don't have to worry. There's 4 food groups that you want to have on your kids' plate. One is vegetables, one is fruits, one is whole grains, and one is the bean group, or beans, peas, lentils, and tofu is a bean product, so that all counts. But if your kids are getting vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, that's good. And then they should also have a vitamin B12 supplement. Now that's really easy because it's in Flintstones vitamins or in one-a-day vitamins. There's B12 in everything, in every kind of multiple vitamin. But you don't want to miss it. Now, you might say, well, my kids, they're not going to eat broccoli or collard greens. They might not. But often kids have simpler tastes, so that their favorite vegetable might just be carrots or peas or something simple. That's okay. As they get older, they'll try more adventurous foods. And you can also flavor things up a little bit. There's a kind of, it's almost like a soy sauce kind of thing they sell at the store, called Bragg's Aminos.
Oh, yes.
Have you ever used this? You spray
Absolutely.
it on Brussels sprouts, and your kids are going to think it's candy. It just adds, it kind of cuts through the bitterness that vegetables have, and it makes them really delicious. So you try these different things, and it works super, super well.
Yeah, and I dilute my aminos because it tends to have a lot of sodium. Can we address sodium when it comes to using these products to give it a livelier taste?
Yeah, it's a funny thing. In nature, plants have almost no sodium at all. They're super high in potassium, which brings blood pressure down. They're low in the sodium that would bring your blood pressure up. So, you harvest green beans, they don't have much sodium, but the manufacturer puts the green beans in a can, and they add a ton of salt because they think you love that taste. Or they'll make a soup. It might be a beautiful barley soup or something like that. And you take it out of the can, and there's so much sodium in it, it'll drive you crazy. So the way I do the numbers, everyone has a slightly different number, but roughly 2,000 milligrams of sodium a day is a pretty good limit. Some people would be a little stricter, like 1,500, some a little more liberal, like 2,300. But what that means is, in the course of a meal, I could maybe have 600 or 700 milligrams of sodium, and then my whole day is still going to be pretty low. So when you're evaluating a canned soup or something else you might eat, you can just keep that number in the back of your mind. But if a food does not have a label, like a cantaloupe or an apple or an orange or some broccoli, don't even worry about the sodium. It's got virtually none.
Yeah, I love, I was given by Dr. Michael Clapper, who is a great follower of you and does a lot of your work with the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine. And he had shared that for every calorie that you have, that if you look at the label, the sodium should not be higher than the
That's valid.
calorie.
Yeah,
So if it's
exactly.
130, if it's 30 calories and you see something that has 350 milligrams of sodium, throw it away. So we're going to continue our conversation. Be the 10th caller or texter for the vegan starter kit, 407-373-5959. And we're going to continue our conversation worldwide when we return. We'll be right here waiting for you. Yeah. So sodium, what about sugar? All the agaves and all the, I love module dates, and I use that a lot. And I don't know if it's delusional because it's a whole food, but I just don't have honey and I don't have agave or any sweeteners. What can you say about sugar?
Yeah, I'm with you. There are natural sugars. If you taste an orange, it's sweet,
Yeah.
but that's just a natural part of it. And our bodies are designed to extract those natural sugars and stick them in your brain and stick them in your muscles as your fuel. So where people run into trouble, I think, is sugar extracted from sugar cane, where you throw away all the fiber and all the pulp, or you extract it from sugar beets, and you've got just pure sugar that you then throw into a soda or into cookies or something else. Then you're getting something that nature kind of didn't have in mind. But if it's a natural sweetness from fruits like dates, or apples or pineapple, you name it, fine. I mean, that's what your body was designed to take advantage of.
Yeah, but we add people have a bowl of fruit, like a wonderful acai bowl, which are just absolutely beautiful, and they'll add honey on top of it or agave on top of it. That's what I'm thinking. It's just too sweet for me now. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm a former sugarholic, and I will say, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow on the show, but I am a former sugarholic, and I've gone a long time without a lot of sugars. Maybe once in a while I'll have something, but for the most part, I stay away from it. This holiday break, I was like, I didn't recognize me. I don't know what happened. And so it's really easy to fall back in our old ways. Perhaps maybe you can share how to stay pure to this,
Okay.
journey, because it's really easy. There's a lot of people that are bringing you things, and you talk about it in the bumps in the road. I think that's the one, or the going
Yep.
to restaurants and travels and parties. So can we address that? How much time do we have left, Andre, before going on the air? And for those of you who have any questions for Dr. Barnard, you're welcome to. 20 seconds. What about Ayurvedic food? Can we combine Ayurvedic with
Yeah, you can, because a lot of that is vegetarian or vegan, although I can't claim tremendous expertise in Ayurvedic practice.
Yes. Well,
It's
someone
only-
had mentioned that on the chat.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, you can combine the two.
Absolutely. We can do anything we want to do. We just need to make it healthy. Yes. And I do want to talk about the recipes in your book.
Thank you.
And do you create these recipes?
For this particular book, I worked with the whole team, and they came from a lot of my friends. You can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn and grow together. Welcome to the classroom, because that's all I can say. I am a much better person today because we have such wonderful teachers on the show that not only talk about health and wellness, but we talk about the spirit, the mind, and the body. It's my commitment on the show is that we look at ourselves as a whole, not just one part of you, but as a whole, that will help us heal naturally. And so the book today that we're discussing is The Vegan Starter Kit with Dr. Neal Barnard. And the ninth caller or texter at 407-373-5959 will win a free copy of this. But also, if you're joining us on Facebook Live and you're watching us on Facebook Live and later on YouTube, you too can be a part of this giveaway. So you can send me a private message at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com if you think you have a better chance doing it there. Or you can instant message me on Facebook at Lillian's Radio Show. So there's so many different ways that we can grow together and take this class. I mean, I'm just saying, you're a great teacher, Dr. Barnard. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing for the research and empowering us the way you do.
Good. Well, thank you. Right back at you, Lillian. Thank you for sharing this message with so many people.
Thank you. So I was sharing with you off the air that I'm a former sugarholic. I'm not, I've admitted this before, but I've eaten a 6-foot tall cotton candy from the cruise, and I did it all by myself, and I was very proud. This was a long, long time ago, but I've come very far from there. So I want people to know you too can become, when you start eating this way, you don't crave the sugar. But this holiday season, this last holiday season, I don't know what happened to me, but I ate more than I normally do, and I didn't feel well. I just didn't feel well. So let's talk about, when you're going to work and all the people that try to sabotage your intention of clean eating.
Yes, I'll tell you, the little devil on your shoulder never
Mine was overtime.
Entirely goes away. It really is true. And I think the first thing to recognize is a lot of people say, I'm a food addict or I've got food issues or something like this. First of all, this is not your fault. It is not a bad childhood. It does not mean you have low willpower. It doesn't mean you're different in any way. You are like every single other person. Everybody's got food issues. Everybody's got them. Sugar screams out to everybody. What these things have in common, anything that, I'm going to use the word addiction, anything that is addictive is something that human beings weren't really interacting with thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Take alcohol, for example. Just to use a more extreme example, somebody had to figure out how to ferment grains or fruits to make alcohol that then you could get addicted to. Or caffeine, you had to figure out how to get it out of coffee beans. Or cocaine, you had to figure out how to get it out of the coca leaf. Once people figure these things out, then you can get addicted. And sugar, nobody ever binged on apples. I mean, you might have one, maybe two, but nobody ever ate 7 apples and was filled with regret. I mean, there's natural sugar in them, but it wasn't until people concentrated the sugar from sugar cane and sugar beets, or now high fructose corn syrup, and pack them into foods, and that has an effect on the brain that nature never came up with. And so the fact that we respond to it doesn't mean you're abnormal. It doesn't mean anything except for the fact that these foods are something that is not natural for us.
Yes.
And there are industries that are doing everything they can to put these foods in front of you on television.
That's right.
In stores, at the gas station, everywhere you are, these foods are there. But here's my message. Forgive yourself. If you goof up, and you might, a little or a lot, just dust yourself off, get back on, and we love you back. Just leave it at that. Don't worry about it.
Your body knows, and it's so willing to forgive and so willing to heal once we give the body what it needs. And so let's transition then into the wonderful recipes in your book. So let's talk about some of examples of a breakfast, an example of a lunch, and an example of a dinner.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And by the way, let me tip my hat to Christine Waltermeyer, who is a wonderful chef and recipe creator who worked with me. And then also a whole bunch of my staffers here, I came up with the recipes that in our research studies, we find that people really like the most. So for example, if I'm sitting down at my dinner, I might start with a minestrone, or I've got a corn chowder recipe that's really filling, but it's surprisingly low in calories, or I've got a potato leek soup that's good. And I have to say, my super, super, super favorite dinner is, I've got a lasagna that is just out of this world, but 0 cholesterol. And I also have an Alfredo sauce that I put on spaghetti, which is great. And then for all the people who are saying, wait, Dr. Barnard, I can't imagine you have any desserts at all. We've got lots of desserts. We've got some raspberry brownies in there. that are wonderful. And I also have, if you think, well, brownies, that's way more than I need. If you just want to make nice fruit desserts, we have those too. But I've got dozens of recipes to get you started, and I hope people give it a shot. And if you're a person who says, I'm not going to cook, that's like about half of my
I
people.
love that. I love that.
Half of my people won't cook. Fine, it's a vegan diet will change your health. It won't change your personality.
I love
You're
that.
too busy to cook. You're still going to be busy. So I'm going to show you the convenience choices that are going to make your life simpler.
So let's, we have like 5 minutes left in the broadcast, and hopefully maybe we can talk a little bit more off the air on
Yeah.
Facebook Live. But are there things that you're passionate about, that you want to wake people up at this point? What would you like to share?
Yeah, I want people to be open to the possibility of actually being a new person. For so many of us, we think, well, there's no way I could ever, whatever it is. You think, okay, I couldn't become an Olympic athlete. Well, maybe not. And so they translate that to mean I can never get away from my diabetes. I can never lose those last 35 pounds. I can't do this, can't do that. Well, wait a sec, just see what can happen. There was a man who emailed me from England. He said, here was his story. He had diabetes, had tried all different diets, could get better. And then he stumbled upon our approach. It's real simple, plant-based diet. Goes on this diet, and he's on it for a couple months, goes to see the doctor who does blood tests. And then he's waiting at home for the results. The doctor's office calls him. It says, get back now. We have looked at your blood results. We need to see you immediately.
Oh.
He's panicking. He gets in the car. He drives there. What did they find in my blood? The doctor sits him down and says, tell me exactly what you've been doing. He says, well, I went vegan. I've been doing it. I think it's good for me. The doctor says, well, your blood sugar is healthier than mine, and I don't have diabetes. In other words, his diabetes completely went away. His doctor was so stunned by this. And my point is, he had not thought this was possible. Mm. And for people watching this might think, nothing's possible for me now. The foods are pretty small. There's pretty small effect. They don't really do much. Let's think bolder. For me as a doctor, I want to cure you. I want to empower you. Now, let's see how far we go. You can never really tell until you start. But let's do this together. And if your issue is high blood pressure, if your issue is cholesterol or extra weight or high blood sugar, you got chronic pain like joint issues, rheumatoid arthritis, or migraines, autoimmune conditions like Sjogren's, or if your big concern is things in the future, like the possibility of Alzheimer's disease, now is the time to explore these gentle but powerful ways of changing your diet. Bring somebody with you. This is the big theme I think of from your show, Lillian, is when you need a friend. We're together. We're doing this together. So grab somebody in your life and say, honey, let's try this. 3 weeks. Will you do this as an experiment with me? No long-term commitment, but let's do this together. Let's do it as a family. People have so much fun doing a 21-day test together as a family. And even if you got 3 and 4-year-old kids, they can tear up the lettuce, we can do this together and really have a blast with it.
I think that those are very wise words. And for those of you who would like Dr. Neal Barnard's The Vegan Starter Kit, call 407-373-5959. And yes, I am talking to you. Yes, you. 407-373-5959. It's time, Dr. Barnard. It's time that we take our health back. And, we think that the pill just gives us permission to continue eating the way we're eating, but it doesn't solve the problem. It keeps us sick enough to need the next dose, but not to help us heal. And so, I hear people say, I can never get off my meat. I can never get off my dessert. And what I'm hearing is people say, I could never let go of diabetes. I can never let go of my pain. And so what I want to encourage people to know and to say themselves is that you're worth more than a piece of meat or a piece of sugar. So you're worth more. So Dr. Neal Barnard, thank you so much for everything that you're doing to help us heal one bite at a time. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Lillian. Right back at you.
And to you, my listening friend, just remember, this is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Yay. Okay. That was, I really, really love this book, because it's like a little Bible that people can keep in their car, or they can keep it in their, like, right next to their bed. Like, this should be in every hotel, right next to the Bible.
Open the drawer and there's the vegan stuff.
Right there. There's a starter kit right next to you.
Okay, I love it.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Barnard, for everything that you're doing. And I'm looking for, I really do want to talk about, perhaps maybe we could talk about addiction. And this
Yeah,
is a really tough subject. There's, when we hear people addicted to cocaine or heroin, or, we rally, we try to help them. But when people are addicted to food, or we're all addicted to sugar or
right.
fast foods or processed foods, we kind of like celebrate it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's yeah. Some people are it's their own private shame, and they don't realize it's an issue for every single person. And if it hadn't been, the food industry is going to make sure that it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, glad to talk about that for sure.
Yeah. So our next conversation could be that. So thank you, Dr. Barnard. And I wish you a happy, happy new year.
You too. Thanks, Lillian.
Thank you.
All right. See
Okay,
ya.
for those of you who are still on Facebook Live, I'm really excited to share this topic with you. Please share the show and help us grow, and share it with other people. Let them know that there are options, there are alternatives to healing your body naturally. I am not against a pill. I'm not against taking pills. Please understand that, and I do not judge anybody who does. I take thyroid medication, and I've tried everything I can to get off the thyroid medication, and I've reduced it considerably. But for some reason, I'm still on it. And so I am not judging anyone who is on medication. I'm just saying, do whatever it takes to either lower it or to get off of it. And food is a wonderful alternative. Again, food is not the only answer. There's a spirit and a mind and a body within you. And I want to encourage you to explore it. Share this video, like us, follow us, go to whenyouneedafriend.com, and also check out my First Alternative Care. Click on that button. For $35 a month, you can get telemedicine, unlimited telemedicine, a dermatology, and I think it's 3 hours a year of mental health counseling. That's per household. $35 a month. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com, click on the First Alternative Care, and learn more. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying that if you have a bunch of students living in your house, you're a household. If you have your grandmother and your great-grandmother and your children and your whatever is your household is your household. $35 a month. You can share that expense very easily. And then Keep Me Safe Organics. One of the things that we do is we put toxins in our body. I want to encourage you to not put toxins on your body through your makeup. So, and anyway, at all. So thank you so much for watching today. I am looking forward to our next conversation tomorrow, where we're going to be exploring the new you, a new truth, a new year, a new truth, and a new you. So until tomorrow, we'll see each other until we have our next conversation. So for now, I'm going to stop the stream. See ya. And the recording. And so I didn't record the beginning of it, but hopefully I'll be able to do something different. So I can add I'll add something at the beginning so that you know what the show is about. But thank you for joining us. Please share on Facebook and YouTube as well.